Hey guys, welcome to the Creative Arena. So in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how you can design the content in your Elementor look. Mind you, this tutorial, it's not restricted to only post type of content. You can also apply it to ACF content. You can also apply it to your product content. So long as it's a dynamic, you're creating a dynamic content, you can apply this effect to it. So this is the effect I'm talking about, the open and close effect. Yep, as you can see. So I know creative people looking at it have already think of multiple ways on how to apply this on their live website, and you can see. So when you check it on other devices, you can also see how it appears. So without further delay, without wasting much of your time, you should just dive in and just get started. All right. So on our dashboard, the first thing we're going to do is we just head on to Elementor. Under the Elementor, we'll go to the settings. Now for the settings, we just want to make sure that everything is set all right. And then we just hit the features. Under the features, we'll now go down and make sure that Flexbox container is set to active. And once we've done that, we'll now hit the save changes. Now, once we've done that, the next thing we'll do, we just come down here to the template, and then we'll head on straight to the theme builder. Now, we'll allow for this to load up. Now, as this loads up, the option we're going to select is the loop item. Now, we're just going to click on this plus icon here to create a new loop. Now allow for it to load. I won't be needing any of that. So the next thing we're going to do right here is we're just going to click on this plus icon here, and then we'll add a container of a structure. That's the structure. Now we're going to set it to full width. We're going to set this to full width, and then next thing we're going to do is we're just going to add another structure right within that. There's another container right within that. So we're just going to drag this container here and we'll add it. And then in order to see what we're doing, we're just going to turn on this navigator. So we'll be seeing what we're doing. So this container here, we're going to call this container card. And then inside this container, we're going to add two containers. So before we do that, we're going to set the direction for this card container to this way. That's column vertical. And then we're going to set the justify content, we're going to set it to center. So now that we've done that, the next thing we're going to do is come down here under this gap. We're just going to set it to 0. So there's no gap between it. And then now that we've done this, the next thing we're going to do is just click on this Rubik's Cube icon here, and then we'll drag another container inside it. And then this container now, we're just going to duplicate it here with the navigator. We're just going to duplicate it. Now for the first container, we're going to call the first container card open. And then for the second container, we're going to call the second container card details. Okay, that's good. You might be wondering why I label all the containers. So it is important that you label your containers so that it helps you locate whatever container in particular you want to edit easily. All right, so now we'll head back to this card container here, and then we're going to change the content width from box to full width, and then we're going to set the unit to pixel, and then for the pixel we're going to set it to be 300 pixel. So we'll have something like that. So the next thing we're going to do is under the card open here, we're just going to drag I'll go to the Rubik's Cube icon here, and then we'll drag a featured image, place it here. Now for the featured image, we're going to change the image resolution to full width, and then we'll head to the style option. For the style option now, we're going to set the width to 100%. And then for the height, we're going to set the height to be 400. And then for the object fit, we're going to set it to cover. And then I'll leave the object position to be center. And then we'll scroll down. For the border radius, we're just going to unlink this and give it a border radius of 30 pixels to the right and 30 to the bottom. So we'll have something like this. Okay, now that we've done that, the next thing we're going to do is we'll come down to the card detail. Now for the card detail, what we're going to do is we're going to set the column direction vertical like that, and then we're going to set the justify content here to the center, and then we're going to set align items to the start. So now that we've done that, the next thing we're going to do is we'll go to the style option here. Before we go do that, let's head back and then give this a minimum height, same as that of the image of the card open, which is 400 pixel. And then we'll now head to the style option. For the style option here, we're going to go to the border, and now for the border, we're going to give it a border radius of we're going to first of all unlink this and give it a border radius of 30 pixel to the right and 30 pixel to the bottom. just like we did before. Not to worry, it may not be showing now, but once we're done, you will see that effect. So now we'll come down to the box shadow, and then we'll just give it a box shadow. And so we just change the color here, make it somewhat reddish. If you've seen my videos, I mostly use red in my color. I don't know why, I just like red, but that's not my favorite color though. All right, so for the blur, we're gonna set the blur to be 30, and for the position, we're gonna set the position to be inset. So we'll have something like this. So we have something that looks like this. Okay. So the next thing we're gonna do is we're just gonna click on this plus icon here, and then we're gonna add some stuff to it. So the first we're gonna add is the post title. Now, to the post title. So, before we do that, let's go back to the card container, and then we'll head to the advanced settings. Now, for that, we're going to give it, we're going to link this, and then we're going to give it a padding of 20 to the top, 20 to the bottom, 15 to the right, and 15 to the left. Or let's say 20 to the left. Yeah, 20 to the left. That looks better. So now that we've done that, we'll now come back to this post title, and then let's tweak it a bit. First, we're going to do is we're going to change the color to black, and then we'll go to the typography. We're going to reduce the font size to something 18. So we'll have something like that. And then once we've done that, the next thing we'll do, we'll go back to the content, and then we'll give it a link, a dynamic tag link for post URL. So once a user clicks it, it takes them to the post URL. And then now that we've done that, we'll come back here, and we're going to drag the post accept, and we're going to drop it right below that. So we're going to have something like this. So now we're going to click on this icon here, and then we're going to give it a post accept of 20. So in a situation whereby you add a post accept and nothing appears, you're just going to toggle this apply to post context. Just going to toggle this on so it applies in a situation where a post accept is not given to that particular post. So you're just going to toggle this, and then it's going to apply automatically. So now that we've done this, the next thing we're going to do is just going to come back here, and then we're going to drag a button. I will drop it right below here, and then for this, we're going to change the title text to learn more. Okay, and then we're going to come down here to the styling, and then we're going to give it a color red. So we'll have something like this. Okay. So this looks great. Okay, so we'll go back to the content for the button, and then we're going to give it a dynamic link. We're going to set it to post title. So once a user clicks on it, it takes them to that particular post title. Okay, so I believe now everything is coming into form. So the next thing we're going to do now is we're going to add some line of CSS code that will do the magic, that will perform the magic for us. We've done the basic work. So now the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to head to my atom code editor. This is the CSS code that I'll be adding. So I'm just going to copy it, and I head back, and then I'll come to this parent container here, and then we'll go to the advanced settings, and we'll come down to the custom and CSS. Now, if you're using the free version of Elementor, you won't be able to access this custom CSS option. So I'm just going to paste this here. All right, so now that I've done that, the next thing I'm going to do is, you notice that after pasting the CSS, nothing still happens. So the reason for that is there are some classes we need to add to our various containers. So now for the first card, this card container here, I'm going to go to the advanced settings, and then we're going to give it a card, just as the title of each of the container is. That's what the classes are. For the card, all right, for the CSS class, we're going to give it a title card. And then we'll come down to the second one, which is the card open, and we'll head to the advanced settings. Now, before we do that, we need to give it a Z index of 5. Could be 1, 2, 3, but make sure it's not 0. And then the class, we're going to give the class card open. And then, as you can see, the features are also already coming into order. So the next thing we're going to do, we'll come down to the card details. Now, for the card details, we're going to go to the advanced settings, and then we'll come down here to the CSS class, and then we're going to give it the class card details, and then this is what we'll have. So as you can see now, this is it. This is the feature. It looks like the book, and then if you click on this, it takes you to the post title, to the post. If you click on this, it takes you to the post. You can also do this do a feature like this for products loop. So now that we've done this, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to try to see the responsiveness of this. So To do that, we're just going to toggle this here, and then we're going to come here. But mind you, you won't really see it, but until we check it on, we add this loop to our live page where visitors can view it. But before we do that, let's just go over here a little bit and see, okay, on tablet it looks fine, but you're gonna see something on the mobile. So on the mobile, this is what we get. So that is to show you that it is deactivated on the mobile, because it doesn't really look nice on the mobile. So in order to fix this now, what we're going to do is, first of all, we're going to come to this, head over to this container here, and then we're just going to toggle this. And then, no, not necessarily, we're not going to toggle that. We're just going to give it 20 pixel like that. We're going to give it 20 pixel like that. Okay. And then we've done that. The next we'll do, we'll come over to this card opener, and then for the image, the featured image, now we're just going to come over here. For the height, we're going to reduce the height to, let's see, 230. Yep, we're going to reduce it to 230. And then we're going to link this and then remove this padding. This border radius. I'm going to remove the border radius. Yep, we're going to remove the border radius. And so now for the card details option here, now we don't come over here. And the first thing we're going to do is for the height here, which is 400, we're going to reduce it to, let's say 275. 275, we have something like this. Okay. And then we'll now go back to the styling, head over to the styling, and then for the border radius, we're going to unlink this as well. So we're just going to have something that looks like this. This looks basically like a normal block card. Okay. Which is great, which is better. And then we're just going to publish this. Now that we've done that, we're just going to publish this. Mind you, there is something I forgot, but thank God I remember. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to click on this settings here, and then I'm going to title this loop we've created. So we're just going to title it card flip or card open style. Card open style. Yep. Okay. All right. Now that we've done that, we're just gonna update it. Okay. So the next thing we're gonna do now is just gonna head over here to a page where we want to add that particular loop so that it will be visible for our viewers. So on this page here, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna add a container here, and this container, I'm just gonna head over to the advanced settings and give it a padding all around, let's say 100, so that we can see what I'm doing. Okay. So now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to click on this plus icon here, and then I'm going to search for I'm going to search for loop, and then I'm going to drag this loop grid and drop it here. Now for the posts, remember the loop we created is for posts. So now I'm just going to search here for it. So what we titled as was card flip something style card open. All right, card open, titled it card open. Yeah, card open style. This is it. So I'm just going to select it and then allow for it to load. Okay, now it has loaded all the posts that I have. And you can see this is what we have here. You can see it. As you can see, this is a very wonderful, beautiful feature. Now, if we should check for the responsive mode, check it on tablets. This is what we get on tablet. So looks great on tablet. And then we will go down to the mobile. Not to worry. The reason for this is because of the container, which I added in this container here. Remember, I give it a padding of 100 all through. So I'm just going to unlink this and then give it a padding of 100 at the top, and then 100 at the bottom. 100 at the bottom, and then either leave it this way or we can just add some padding to the left, but I believe it's better we leave it this way because it sits well. So you can see this looks wonderful. So now I'm just going to update this. Now we click on live preview. Voila, this is the future. we've added. We've come to the end of this tutorial. I hope you find this tutorial helpful and you've already imagined series of ways you can use this feature on your live website. So if this tutorial has been helpful to you, please remember to give it a like. And then if you're new to your channel, please remember to subscribe and then hit the bell icon so you get notified first when I drop a new video. Guaranteed, and see you next time. Bye bye.